everybody. This is like a little bit of a different video because I am going to be talking all about sponges. Yep, I'm going to be talking all about sponges and I am going to be rating them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 13 sponges, and I want to rate them from worst to best. And let me tell you, I don't know what I did before I discovered sponges. I know I'm not young. I'm kind of, yeah, not young. And, we used our fingers, or we used those white wedges that used to come. There were little ones and they were like white. I don't know if you remember those, but I used to use those dry. But a few years ago, I discovered, through watching YouTube and other people do makeup, I discovered sponges, and oh my gosh. So I have a few sponges here to rate. So let's get right into it. First of all, we have the EcoTools sponge, and it comes with this I1. And if you can see, this is dry. Both of them are dry. And I am going to rate them from the ones that I like the least to the ones I like the most. And this one I like because there is this edge over here that is really good for contouring. You can do a really sharp edge on your face with this. And also it has a slanted edge, and then it has a shorter one. And here you can do a couple of things. You can do concealer, you can do cream products, you can do your foundation. You also have the bottom that is rounded like this, just like a beauty blender. And the beauty blender, is like the standard for everybody. And I'm going to be talking about the beauty blender in just a few seconds. So you also have this one that you can bump foundation on your face with. And then we have the I1. Okay, why is this one the least one that I like? If you can see, this one is dry, and look at how it has been tearing. It has just been tearing, and I have only washed this about 7 or 8 times. So it is pretty new, and it just tore. Let me go ahead and get it wet. I have a bowl of water here. I'm gonna get it wet so that you can see how much it grows. And here it is wet, and I wrung it out. I need to wring it out a little more. I've wrung it out, and this is what it looks like when it is damp. And it is really good. It is very, very, very soft. So soft that, I don't know, I thought when I first bought it, I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be really easy to tear, and it really is really easy to tear. So this is why I have put it on my least likable one, because it tore like that so bad. The one for the eyes is very, very dense. See, I've tried to do a concealer with it, and it's okay, but it's like hitting your face with a really hard sponge. So this one is dry, and now I'm gonna get it wet. It doesn't expand as much as the facial one. So this is what it looks like when it is damp. It doesn't grow very much, and it does not get any softer. So this one is a no-go for me for the eye. I think it's a little bit too big for the eyes as well. There is a beauty blender, small one for the eyes that is good, and also Real Techniques has a concealer one that is very good as well. I don't have those because I really don't use a separate sponge for my concealer, but these EcoTools ones were just a no-go. This is really good for when you want something really soft, and it does blend out really well, but it does soak up a lot of your foundation. So this is why these ones are my least favorite. Okay, moving on, I have this one. This one is from an unknown brand. I actually bought this one at a Ross, and it says to have collagen infused. I cannot remember right now the brand of this. I put it on my Instagram. If I find it, I can link it. But this one is, it's just like a regular sponge. It looks like the L'Oreal one, which I'll be talking about, and the Ulta brand one that I will also be talking about. This one is soft. It's kind of dense. It is not hard by any means. It was only $3.99. So if you want a cheap sponge, and you can find it at a Ross, it is a little bit hard to get clean. So that was my only downside with this one. It does soak up some of your product. See, it was just hard to get it completely clean. So this one for a cheap sponge is not bad. It just, just to be aware that it does soak up a little bit of your product. Now, This one gets humongous when wet, and it is super soft. It has not torn like the one from Eco Tools, and it is just super soft. I don't know if the collagen thing is true or not. I've used it about 5 or 6 times, and it is a really good sponge. If I find the brand for this, I will link it down below. But this was found at Ross. Really good. It has this pointed edge that you can do concealer with. It has that flat bottom for your foundation. It is really ergonomically good to just hold and do. You can pinch it to have it be more narrow. It has a lot of possibilities. So this sponge is really good. And if you compare it to the Eco Tools one, this one has not torn at all. So good sponge right here. I only put it second, my second least, the one that I like the least, the second one in second place, because I don't know, it gets a little bit too big, and it does soak up more product than I want it to. Okay, so moving right along, I have the Ulta brand one. The Ulta brand one is good, guys. I'm coming now into the ones that I like that are okay. This one is really good. This is dry. This is the Ulta brand one when it is dry. It is this orange color, so it's cool. It has the same kind of shape as the other one that I just showed you, with the pointed top and then the flat bottom. Oh, sorry, I'm out of focus. The flat bottom right there. It has this ergonomic kind of waist here where you can just hold it, pinch it. When you get it wet, let me get this one wet as well so that you can see. This Ulta brand one is about $4.99, of course, at Ulta, and it gets this big. So compared to the one that I just did, this one gets way bigger. This one from Ulta, I think, is a little bit more manageable because it is smaller. And so I think it is a little bit more manageable for your face. It just depends on a personal preference. This one is a little bit too big for me. But the one that is cheaper from this unknown brand that I bought at Ross is softer. It's actually softer and squishier than the one from Ulta. I only put it a little bit ahead of this one, the Ulta brand, because of the size. But these two are pretty much the same. They are in the $3.99, $4.99 range for price. So these are really good sponges that are affordable and good. The one from Ulta soaks up a little bit less product than this one from Ross. So these two are good sponges. They have the same kind of shape and that pointed edge, the flat bottom, like I said. Only difference is the size. All right, so moving right along, I have these 3 from Pür Cosmetics. And this came in my Boxycharm this month. And I have been trying it out. This one is damp because I was using it. And I wash my sponges every single time that I use them. I wash them completely every single time. And so, they have to be durable. I put this one right in the middle because this is what it looks like when they are dry. These two are dry and this one is damp. So it does grow a little bit more, well, a little less than double its regular size. So why did I put this in the middle? And I should have put this one more down in the least that I like category. These ones are really, 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 really dense. They are very, very hard. So this one is not my favorite. I would actually put this one from Ross, as liking it more than this one because this one is way squishier than this one. I don't know if you can see that I can squish this one way easier than I can squish the one from Pür. And so this trio is like $29.99. I don't think it's worth that amount of money because these are really dense and hard when you're trying to put on foundation. See? I mean, you can hear it. They're very dense and hard, and they are difficult to clean. Also, I have a little tear. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I have a little tear right there. I've been using this one for about a week. I also have a tear right here. So, I think I would put the one that I just showed from Ross, I think even before these. These are, a brand that is more expensive, and they're not my favorite. Okay. Also, next I have this one. This one I bought at CVS for $2.99. This is from La Crème. oh, what is it called? Oh gosh, I will link it down below. But this sponge is $2.99 from CVS, and it is so good. This is dry. This one is dry. It has that flat, not so flat, kind of flat round type of bottom, and then it has this really pointy edge for the concealer. This sponge I have used so much. I have watched it so much, and it really has not any wear and tear that I can see, that it's not tearing. It is just a really good sponge. Let me get it wet for you to see how it grows. This one grows a little bit like double its size. Let me see, get it really wet here and wring out the water. So this is what it looks like when it is wet or damp. And so it grows about double its size. It's really squishy. It's really squishy. I think the one from Ross is a little bit squishier than this one, but I don't like them to be super squishy, because then they tend to hold a lot of your product, and you don't want your sponge to soak up a lot of your product. You want it to soak up some so that you can shear out your foundation if you want to, or make it smoother if you want to. But you want a sponge to not soak up all of your foundation, and this one doesn't. This is just a really good sponge. I also like the tip of it. You can do concealer, and like right in the inner corner, you can get this tip right in there, and it is so good. It has a good shape for your face. It's not too big. It's not too small. I think this is just a really good sponge. And for $2.99, you can beat it. Actually, I didn't get it at CVS. I apologize. I got it at Walgreens, not CVS. I got it at Walgreens. And the cosmetics brand is called La Crème something. I will link it down below. I will link it. Okay. Now we're going to go into the ones that I really like, and we're going to start with the one from L'Oreal. This is the one from L'Oreal. I really like this sponge. Even this one that is dry, it's really squishy. It has a good shape. Again, it's shaped like the one from Ulta, like that. It has the same type of shape, the same type of tip. Also like the one from Ross that I just dropped. So let me go get it real quick. Okay, so these have the same type of shape. Notice that the one from Ross is still very big. But they both do. They all do. So why do I like this one better than these? Well, let me tell you. It is because it is the right amount of squishiness. It is the right size when it is wet. Let me get it wet so that you can see the size of it, and I think they are dupes for each other, seriously. So it's really about preference. So if I put all these three together, the one from L'Oreal, the one from Ulta, and the one from Ross, notice that the one from Ulta and L'Oreal are pretty much the same size. The one from L'Oreal has the pointy edge that is a little bit more pointy than the one from Ulta. So I like that better because you can get into the inner corner with your concealer so much better. You just have to pinch it a little bit, get right in there. The bottom of the L'Oreal one is just a tiny bit bigger, and that is good for your foundation. This one from Ross is just a little bit too big for me. So that's why that one is a little bit lower on my list. So this one from L'Oreal, I think, is the right amount of squish. I think that point is so good. It's just the right size, not too big, not too small. So that's why that one is more higher on my list. All right, next one, because I don't want to make this super long video. This one is the Real Techniques Miracle Sponge. And this is like, when this one came out, everybody, you know, this is the dupe for the Beauty Blender. It is exactly like the Beauty Blender. I love it. I love this sponge. I think, again, that super pointy edge is really good for your concealer to get right in the inner corner. This slanted edge, this was the first sponge that came with a slanted edge, and it was really good to pat your foundation. And you can use this as well for your concealer. You can just tap it like that onto the eye, and down. You know, if you do a triangle shape down your eye, this is really good right here. And then this sharper edge you can do for sharper. You can even do it for contour if you want to sharpen your contour with powder. This is a good one as well. So it has a lot of uses. And I think it was very innovative, and it was the Beauty Blender's first contender, like first competition that came out. When it is, this is dry, it is this size, so it is pretty big. Compared to the Beauty Blender, which is my next one. When it is dry, it is bigger. So let me get that one wet and see how much it grows. It grows a lot. I guess double its size. The good thing, why is this one on, you know, the top 3? Because I only have 2 more to go. This one is in the top 3 because of the size. First of all, it is not too big, it is not too small. Again, because of the things that I said about the slanted edge, being able to use this for your concealer, the pointy edge for your concealer as well, for the inner corner. And it is squishy, so squishy. It is so, but it's not squishy like the one from Eco Tools. This one is just too squishy. This one you feel like it's just going to break apart on you, which it actually does. This one is just the right amount of squish. It does not soak up a whole lot of your product. I think it doesn't soak up a whole lot of your product, but it soaks up enough that it's not in my top 2. So this one is very, very good. This is like $8.99 at Ulta. And if you get sales, you know, it's Real Techniques, they do sales all the time, like buy one, get one 50% off. This is really good. I actually have a couple of backups for this one. Even though I am not using this one very often because I'm using another one that I will show you in 2 seconds. Okay, my next one, and I have it in second place. I have one other that I prefer over this one. This is the Beauty Blender. Everybody loves the Beauty Blender. This is the first of its kind. The Beauty Blender was the one that invented the Beauty Blender. They are the ones that came out with a sponge that just worked. This is, it's very little, it's very small, it looks like a little egg. It has a pointy top, which is good, again, for concealer. It has that round bottom. Everybody has seen a Beauty Blender before. Even when it is dry, it is very squishy, which none of the others have except the one from Ross. This one from Ross, even when it is dry, it is squishy. So the Beauty Blender can be used wet or dry as per the instructions. It can be used wet or dry. I actually, there are some things about the Beauty Blender. This is the pink one, of course, and I have washed it a couple of, well, no, more than a couple of times. I've washed it about 10 times, and it is still bleeding dye, pink dye. That I don't like about it. If you look at the bottom right here, let me see if I can get it close to the camera. Right there, you can see that there's still foundation on it. It's kind of difficult to clean. I haven't bought the Beauty Blender cleanser because I think it's very expensive. What I wash my beauty sponges with is just soap for sensitive skin with no odor at all, because I'm allergic to a lot of things. So I use soap for sensitive skin. So, you know, the Beauty Blender is good. I hardly ever reach for it. I really don't. Let me get it wet so that you can see how much it grows. You saw how little it was when it was dry, and it really does not grow that much when it is wet. This is what it grows to. So compared to the Miracle Sponge, see, it is a little bit smaller. Well, yeah, no, actually kind of the same size. Well, the Miracle Sponge is a little bit bigger. If you compare it to the L'Oreal one, of course the L'Oreal one is a lot bigger. If you compare it to the one from Eco Tools, the Eco Tools is a lot bigger as well. So I think the Beauty Blender is just a little bit too small for me. I like something more in the mid-size type of, not too big, not too small. And I think the Beauty Blender is just a little bit too small for me. And now with so many options, I just don't think you have to spend $20 on a Beauty Blender. I just don't think, I mean, if you want to, you can definitely do. It's good for you to have a Beauty Blender at least once, just so that you know what they feel like and everything. But I don't think it's a must. Because you have so many other options now. When it first came out, sure, this was it. And of course, you needed to get a Beauty Blender. I got the black one and I didn't really like it. I ended up returning it. This one I kept for video purposes for me to use, but I don't reach for it that much. Okay, my number one sponge, and you're not gonna, I don't know if you're gonna believe this, but my number one sponge, and let me just clean this because it's all wet, is this one. Oh my gosh, you can hardly see it because I have a black, let me see if I can put this. Sorry, this is gonna be dirty, I apologize. Okay, I'm gonna put it on my towel because my table is black. This is the NYX sponge, guys. This sponge is perfection. This is dry. And when you squish it, it is dense. It's not super squishy like the Beauty Blender. If you can see the Beauty Blender is way squishier. And this is wet, and I'll wet my next one in a minute. But see, it is dense, but it is not so dense. It is not as dense as the one from Pür. Let me grab one from Pür that is also dry. See, this is the NYX, and this is the Pür one. Oh my gosh, the Pür Cosmetics one is so hard and dense. This one is dense, but it's right in the middle of the Beauty Blender and the Pür. So this one would go right in the middle with density. And I think that this is just the right balance between super squishy and super dense, and also in size. Let me just go, and I know this video is like 100 million years old, but not old, long. It has the slanted edge. It has this part just like the one from Real Techniques. So it pretty much looks on the top, it looks like the Real Techniques one. It does not have the pointy edge at the bottom, so that is more like the Beauty Blender, which I really, really like. I like that instead of the, you know, if I am going to have this edge, I don't really need the pointy one. So this is the perfect balance between the Beauty Blender and the other ones that have the slant. So if you really like that slant for applying, you know, for your contour, to sharpen the contour with powder, for your concealer, if you want to use this edge for your concealer, you can. So it is just the right amount of beauty sponge, if that makes any sense. It is the right size. It has all the things that you need without being repetitive or without being unpractical. It is very practical. So I am gonna get it wet, and this is what it looks like when it is wet. This one is actually dirty because I used it and I did not I haven't washed it yet. But guys, this does not soak up all of your product. It cleans very, very, very well. You can get everything out of it. You can get everything out of it. And also, sorry, my phone just rang. Oh, it rang again. Sorry about that. And you can get all the foundation out. And so when I wash it, it's gonna get all the foundation out. When you're using, see, look. It's soft, but at the same time is sturdy. So I really love this sponge. See how squishy it gets? Compared to the Beauty Blender, of course the Beauty Blender is squishier, but I prefer this one because this is a little bit too squishy. This soaks up a lot of your product, when this one does not. It just soaks up the right amount of product. So anyway, that was my take on the sponges. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something out of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment down below, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.